All right. Let's see if we can get another win here at Fordon. I mean, we're at 69 wins, so I'm not sure we can go any higher than that, but we have to try. Let's get into a game and see how this goes.
Start to play.
All right. Looks like I am white if they want to play me, and we will not allow a cross game this time. We're going to do a standard game and see what happens. I'm going to copy them. Not forever, just for this first move. Approaching on the inside is a bit strange. I definitely don't mind just answering because I don't want to know. I don't want to fall into their necessary plan there. Since they pulled back, I am just going to enclose my corner as well. This feels really nice. And they're playing another move right now, which is a bit unusual. So I think my goal is just to approach their 3-4 because that's the next biggest point. Do I want to do it high or low? I don't really see a world in which I'm building too much in the center, so I'm going to play low here to see what they decide to play. Oh, kick. All right. Kick and jump. Perfectly good. I will play low again because I think this is easier to handle than playing high. The slide here is okay. If they take the corner, we can still play on the top side if we really want to. So do we want to Tanuki first? I think it's actually fine to answer because they still have a weakness in their shape. So I will answer because of that. And I don't need another move here. They invested so many stones on this left side that I'm not too worried about it. And I will just go over here to follow up on my enclosure and approach. And I will do my favorite little Joseki here, which is just the attach and Hane. Yep, just connect, connect. Okay, they are going to push. I wasn't sure. They looked like they were thinking about not doing it. Yeah, so do I want to Hane? I usually should anyway. Yeah, I will Hane, and we'll see what happens here. Oh, normally they should cut. Since they decided to take the corner, we get to defend this cutting point and just build more on the left side, which feels okay. And here they're really, really trying to be very aggressive against my corner. So I'm going to actually defend in a new way that I saw, and I'm going to try it out, which was the bump and jump here. So now the corner is completely solid, and this stone is a little bit heavy, and we're going to be able to attack it a little bit more easily. I don't know the best way to do it. That's why we're trying it out. In this case, I think I just want to come over the top of the group. That seems like an easy way to do something here. We want to do the knight's move. You can push and cut, I guess, but then he's surrounded still. So we'll do the knight's move here. Just block. Keep it nice and simple for myself. And extend out here, because they're the ones who are in trouble. And I guess I will just connect up all my stones. Go to the diagonal here. There's still some cutting issues, so I will just do the push here to make sure all my stones are basically connected. He is going to be able to cut, but he also has a shortage of liberties here. Okay, so he just fixes that. Do I think I'll be able to use this cut at any point? Maybe. So I don't necessarily have to Atari right now. And this move here is actually threatening their life and death already. So this question is, what do I need to do to attack them locally? I think this is my weaker side, so I'm just going to Hane here. It's making sure my weak side is strong. When we connect here, now they just have to live. They can do this move, for example. That should be fine. But they do have to just live here now. Is it okay? This one feels really nice because I get to capture this stone directly. And they still have to go back and live because they're not alive yet. This actually feels like a really great result for me. I think they probably shouldn't answer if I play this Atari right now. They should just play on the top side. So I'm going to play this 2-space extension on the top side to make their group a bit weaker. The reason I wanted the 2-space extension instead of coming to the corner is because it makes my group stronger as well. So it just felt like a good idea. So I want to kind of get this knight's move here, which is threatening to capture the one stone, but also threatening to just sort of surround in a large way. Yep, we can just block. And I really like this exchange for me where I get to push here and I just get to connect all my stones, and this doesn't feel necessarily that great for black. So do I want to play one more move here? If I do this peeping move, we push in, we can maybe clamp. Seems a little hard to kill anything, which is fine. I don't need to kill, but still feel like maybe that's the strongest way to respond again locally. And if we let them attach,
Yoyomi now starts.
It does feel like they get out too easily. So I will just make sure my groups are all connected up. That seems like the easiest answer here. Oh, wow. Just capping right away. Feels a little bit too much. Which one's the one that I like more? Like usually the peep here is good, but technically this ladder It does actually work for me. Okay. I wasn't sure.
9,
So I guess we will peep. So if we cap from the center here, they're going to be jumping up to the side. And usually we want to try to push them towards the wall that we made. So maybe the knight's move cap is a slightly better idea to push them towards the wall. So let's try that out. We'll just stay connected. Have to be very careful here. They don't have that many liberties, especially after I connect here. And then they also have problems in their corner here. So they have to be able to capture this stone right away. And if I get to connect instead, that feels really bad. And this push and cut doesn't do anything because I have this extra liberty here. So they could not do that. And that actually ended up hurting their liberties by quite a lot. I'm still going to be pushing them towards the wall. Yep. I'll connect here. So we can still keep pushing them this way. Or we could even do a knight's move here, which would be capturing this stone for the most part. We do have a cutting point that we'll have to worry about, but it's okay if they live. We were just trying to push them towards the wall. If we capture first, they
9,
turn.
8, 7.
That's potentially okay
6,
as well.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I think I like the knight's
1.
move more. It just looks a little bit nicer here. As I said, they can live. I just want them to give me a lot of bad exchanges in order to live. So I just extend here. They can't capture this one stone too easily. But they're going to try. This move is kind of sente if I extend up. So I kind of like the idea of connecting solidly. Now they're blocking directly. But what if I extend in some way? So I fix this stone. So they have to block me here. I can actually just cut that. And now they're in a lot of trouble.
9, 8, 7.
And then I can also just Hane here.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So let's see what happens. I'm a little bit aggressive feeling right now. So we'll just have to wait and see how this goes. It just feels like they're asking for too much most of this time here. And we can even potentially peep here now because this cutting point is just really nice. So I will peep here. This is connecting all my stones pretty nicely. I definitely have more liberties than they do. And then now I can just Hane to make this group alive. And their corner not alive. I can even just connect solidly potentially, like go down here. If I Atari and capture, they can Atari and capture. If I Atari here, I can get rid of eyes. My goal isn't to get rid of eyes right now. My goal is to just live.
9, 8.
So I'm going to extend down and just live because I can still Atari and capture stuff. And so if we just make 2 eyes, then they're in trouble because they do not have 2 eyes yet. If this group was under more pressure and I wasn't able to get the Hane, I definitely would not have even thought of trying this. If I push here and they push and cut, we can just ladder the stone. Pushing here, they push and cut, we can squeeze the stone.
9.
Which
8,
one? I think I
7.
like this one so they can't push and cut. And I also want to take a liberty from the outside stone so I can push and cut them later if I need to. So taking this liberty feels really important. Okay, resigned. Yeah, liberties are extremely important in situations like this. So I guess now we will find out if I ended up overplaying or not when I check the graph really quick. Since I mentioned it, I might as well show you. If I show the display here, you can see that, yeah, this was just a win here from the beginning. So let's try to figure out why this happened. If we go back to this, we can open up the little analysis board. While I think the fighting could have gone better for my opponent potentially, I do want to mention I think the reason they actually started getting behind is because of some of the earlier moves they played. I mentioned this in the game, but this formation on the left side is not very good. Yes, you could think of it as efficient, especially if I could have attacked it in a very severe way, but he spent so many moves too early on. And if we go to that early point in the game, any of these approaching moves are going to be worth significantly more than the move at C8. And this combination here, the C14 to D10 stone, this is supposed to be for having a flexible position, not for making territory. So my opponent played a move that made them flexible, and then they decided to play another move that tried to secure the area. Then they realized that it wasn't secure yet, so they played 2 more moves to make it a secure territory. So they started off trying to be a flexible position, and then turned that into territory before the corners were even settled yet in the game. And this was already sort of giving them a position in which they're likely going to be behind, just from the fact that they're playing moves that are too small. And then even here, after we get the Hane and they pull back here, which they're not usually supposed to do, I get to defend and then they go and invade my area. But there's another move that's potentially too small because it's just going to be a group that I get to attack, and then I'll be able to apply pressure to the next group, which is exactly what happened in the game. And you'll see that none of Black's groups are making that many points, right? If we just go a little bit further on, just look at how many points each group is making after I get this approach. You'll see that the left side, I believe I counted this a little bit earlier, and it was about 20-ish points if we're kind of generous with it. And this is usually around like a 10-point area, right? Because there's like 9 points here plus a couple points here. So like 10 to 15 points. So let's be very generous, give them 35. And then this other group here is hard to count, but we can at least give it maybe 10 points maximum. And then another group over here that's only a couple points. I like to usually call these groups 2-point groups. But if you look at all of my groups, there's no group that I have that's worth only 2 points. I have influence towards the center. Even my weakest group that got surrounded is perfectly fine and alive with a decent amount of points. So like compared to their weak group versus my weak group, I have more points, right? But you can see how that sort of adds up over time, and then I also get Comey. So playing these really slow moves and going for these invasions that only just barely live are usually not a good idea. But I think this was a good game to illustrate that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And have a good day, everybody, and have fun.